could take you down.
We took down the Doomsday Beast, the Stellaron, and Phantilia. Did you really think you could stop us?
Darn it! I'm all out of ammo!
Sir, we've just received word from the director.
Director Topaz? What did she say?
Teams are not to disrupt the lives of local inhabitants during the asset evaluation period. Teams that violate this directive will have their year-end bonuses reduced by 60%!
60%? We're done for! Attention all personnel! Evacuate the mine immediately! Erase all traces of your presence!
So, are we all good here, or what?
Yeah. Judging by the looks on their faces, I don't think they'll be back. So, who is this Topaz anyway? She seems to have no problem ordering these idiots around. Or taming Fragmentum creatures, for that matter.
It's a long story.
Tja, was sagen wir dazu? Belobog steckt tief in Schulden.
Debt? What do you mean?
You should probably ask Bronya to explain it to you.
Why did this mess have to happen so close to the festivities? The timing couldn't have been any worse.
Oh, looks like we've got a message.
Ja, gerade rechtzeitig. Bronja, wir sind gerade in Unterwelt. Wo seid ihr, Merz und Phantom? Geht's euch gut? Naja... Ich habe es nicht geschafft, Topaz zu überzeugen. Keine Sorge, Phantom, das wurde sowieso nicht von euch erwartet. Irgendetwas ist hier gerade passiert und ich kann es nicht genau in Textnachrichten beschreiben. Könnt ihr zur Festung Klipov zurückkommen? Ich brauche in dieser Angelegenheit den Rat von euch beiden.
I get the feeling Bronya's worried about something. We'd better go back and see her. Are you coming with us, Seela?
Go on without me. I still have stuff to take care of. The miners need to know what happened here. Bronya messaged you, which means she thinks you can help. I trust her judgment.
Got it, Seela. We'll do what we can to help Bronya out. Come on, to Qlipoth Fort!
Tja, auf zur Festung Qlipoth. Und auf jeden Fall, diese Mission ist abgeschlossen. Währenddessen in Niedstadt.
These guys don't look like thieves.
By order of the Supreme Guardian, proceed no further, Miss Topaz.
Belobog might be in arrears, but I'm out of pocket. See you later, Captain.
Tja. Der Code ist mächtig. Der Code ist allgegenwärtig. Warte mal, Markt der Zukunft Teil 2. Ist das jetzt eigentlich auch der Augenblick, wo wir sogar auch das andere Minispiel freischalten können? Oh, Markt der Zukunft Teil 2. Ja, das wäre jetzt erst im Bereich des Möglichen. Theoretisch hätten wir eigentlich auch schon den Hektik und Trubel in der Aurum-Allee machen können. Oder das hier sowieso. Und ja, hier, Felsenstadt Superliga, da haben wir auch noch was abzuschließen. Was wäre denn das denn jetzt hier? Ja, das geht jetzt leider, ist ja auch nicht klar. 5 Tage, das wäre ein bisschen schwierig, das Ganze hinzukriegen. Ich glaube wirklich, das ist ein bisschen schwierig, das in 5 Tagen noch hinzukriegen. Naja, wir könnten das aber mal versuchen, irgendwie hinzukriegen.
Welcome back. I appreciate your help more than I can express. It couldn't have been easy running all over the city.
Um eigentlich genau zu sein, falls jetzt, sagt, die aktuelle, also diese Geschichtshälfte vorbei sein sollte und wir dann, sagt, jetzt als nächstes wirklich den Ethereum, wirklich die Stelle gekommen wäre, wo der Ethereum-Krieg, also dieses Spielevent, gekommen wäre, dann könnten wir, sagt, sowieso schon ab dem nächsten Part dann theoretisch, naja, zurück zur Jianzhou reisen und dann, sagt, noch das Event, oder besser gesagt den neuen Abschnitt von 1.5 von der Jianzhou zu machen und dann, sagt, auch noch das Event versuchen zu beginnen. Wäre, sag mal, ein interessantes Vorhaben. Auf jeden Fall innerhalb von 4 Tagen müsste man das doch eigentlich durchkriegen.
That's what friends are for, Branya. You don't sound like yourself. Is something wrong?
I'm fine. I haven't rested in a while. There's just too much happening all at once.
Okay, ich bin mir sicher, dass wir die Dinge zum Guten wenden können.
They're moving quickly. Belobog is crawling with their agents. All they talk about is asset evaluation. The silver lining is that apart from the mine incident you mentioned, there haven't been any major conflicts in other areas. I suppose Topaz must have issued an order against harassing the citizenry. Still, that hasn't stopped panic from building. People are confused. They don't know where these strangers in black came from, nor what their intentions are.
Did you manage to get in touch with Topaz again? We're curious to know what solution she has in mind.
That's the reason I asked for you to come here. I need your advice. Look.
Und was ist das?
It's...
The contract Topaz sent to me a little while ago. There's a handwritten letter attached. Please, take a look at the contents, and then tell me your thoughts.
Miss Branya, if you'll permit me to call you that, I'd like to share a story with you from my own life. In your eyes, the IPC may seem heartless or cruel, but in reality, we all have a story to tell. As for myself, I was born on a small, unremarkable planet at the edge of the galaxy, a place whose name is known only to the native inhabitants. My home planet was extremely resource poor. To survive, people worked laboriously, manufacturing products for other civilizations in the galaxy, mostly in chemical or heavy industries. Given these circumstances, the natural environment of my home planet became increasingly harsh. I don't recall the exact moment when it happened, but people started wearing respirators just to walk down the street. All you could hear were the wheezing coughs of the people, day and night. My home was facing its demise. The relatively wealthy chose interstellar migration and started anew. The majority who stayed could only struggle on amidst sewage, acid rain, and dust, waiting for the end. Finally, one fateful day, the IPC arrived on my home planet. They had the technology to repair our planet's damaged environment. In return for their help, they asked for just one thing: that all inhabitants sign a contract which would make them employees of the IPC. 2 years after signing the contract, the dark clouds and haze disappeared, and people began to take off their masks. After 3 years, vegetation and trees began to grow and thrive again. After 5 years, many animals, previously on the brink of extinction, reappeared. When I was finally old enough, I officially became a member of the Strategic Investment Department. I witnessed the changes that took place on my homeworld, and was determined to bring the same changes to many other worlds in the galaxy that were experiencing the same plight. I am writing to you, Miss Bronya, with the genuine desire to express something important. I know freedom is precious to people, but in reality, there are things of much greater value, such as survival. How many generations of Belabogians will it take to embrace the stars again without assistance? Who can guarantee that every future Guardian will be as prudent and enlightened as you? How can you guarantee that a disaster such as the Stellaron crisis will not descend upon Belobog yet again? I have already negotiated the best possible deal for you. Once you sign this contract, all of Belobog's debts will be forgiven. In addition, the IPC will set up a special team to support the reconstruction of Eurillo 6. I can understand that for you, this is an extremely difficult decision, because you, and you alone, will bear the fate of all Belabogians. But because of this, I believe that you will make the right decision. A decision that will truly benefit your people.
Her words do sound quite sincere. What do you make of it?
Also, tja. Ich bin eigentlich derselben Meinung.
I'm inclined to agree. It's hard to imagine she wrote that letter just to deceive me. In any case, she wasn't wrong when she said this would be an extremely difficult decision. This planet's fate, the civilization it carries, everything that's happened here and everything that will happen, it all rests in my hands. This definitely can't, and shouldn't, be a decision made by me alone.
Okay. Vielleicht solltest du dir erst einmal einen Einblick mit anderen verschaffen.
That thought has crossed my mind. It comforts me to hear you say that.
Right. I don't think it's fair for you to carry the weight alone. Why not discuss it with others first?
Topaz hasn't given me much time to consider. She wants me to decide as soon as possible. I wanted to put it to a vote, and let all the citizens of both the Overworld and the Underworld have their say. But with such little time, I'm afraid that's a lost cause. I'll convene the Klapothfort architects immediately to discuss the contract. As for the locals, I'd like you to gauge their stance on the matter. The people of Belobog hold both of you in high regard. They'll most certainly be willing to tell you their thoughts.
Okay, es ist Zeit für einen Wettlauf gegen die Uhr? Gegen die Zeit.
Yes, we need to move fast.
We've got your back. We failed to convince Topaz, but this should be a piece of cake.
Thank you, March. I'll assemble the ministers. Let's meet up here again later.
All right. If we want to make an informed decision, we need to hear from both the Overworld and the Underworld, right? Let's start with you.
Okay, da bin ich jetzt mal gespannt. Zeit für eine Meinungsumfrage. Also gut, wo fangen wir jetzt am besten mal an? Am besten werden wir... Nein, eine Zeitung zu kaufen wäre, sagt, unnötig. Jetzt erstmal Ladenangestellter. Okay, dann brauchen wir erstmal seit längerer Zeit mal wieder ein paar Lebensmittel. Tja, wir haben, sagt wirklich auch schon seit längerer Zeit keinerlei Verbrauchsgegenstände mal gekauft. Ist vielleicht alles ein bisschen zu viel, was ich jetzt hier einkaufe? Aber nehmen wir das erstmal so alles. Ich dachte, das wäre Müll, den niemand haben will. Wie dem auch sei, vielen Dank. Okay, dann haben wir jetzt erstmal das Sprachmodul gekauft. Und das könnte jemand wirklich brauchen, aber ich weiß jetzt nicht wer. Vielleicht wäre das ja, sag ich ja, nochmal für die weitere Clara-Quest vonnöten.
We meet again. How have you two been? Uh-oh. That look on your face tells me something's wrong. I hope it's nothing too serious.
Wir brauchen deine Meinung zu einer wichtigen Angelegenheit.
Sounds serious. I'm all ears.
Ihr erzählt Pela von IFK-Schulden und der Wahl.
Really? You better not be making things up. I wish it were made up. Unfortunately, it's all true. We don't have much time, Pela. Bronya wants to get everyone's opinion. Wait, you're telling me I have to make this huge decision on the spot? At least give me a few seconds to think it over. Okay, I think I've got it. If it were up to me, I'd probably agree to the IPC's conditions. Huh. Okay. Any particular reason? I've looked at some of the climate reports, and based on the data I've seen, it'll take 3 or 4 more generations for the snow to completely subside. And that's assuming no other disasters occur. I care more about those in the present than a future I can't be sure of. If the IPC is able to bring about immediate change, then I think that's a price well worth paying. Building a better world for future generations sounds great, right? But is it any fun for the engineers and architects who are directly involved in such a pursuit? I see. So compared to a distant and uncertain future, what you really care about is making sure the people around you have a good life. Thanks for your input. I'll make a note of your opinion.
Okay, das wäre dann schon mal eine Stimme für den IFK-Vorschlag. Eine weitere Meinung holen wir uns jetzt mal von Serval ein.
Well, look who we have here! You and Marge paying us a visit. What's the occasion?
Wir brauchen deine Meinung zu einer wichtigen Angelegenheit.
Uh-oh. Sounds like something serious is happening. You'd better fill me in.
Ja, auch ihr erklären wir den Vorschlag.
What? How is that possible? I need a moment to wrap my head around this.
Serval, we're racing against the clock. No time for head wrapping.
It's okay. I've thought it through. If it were up to me, I'd sign the contract.
What? Hold on, are you serious? I thought you'd be against it for sure.
Surprised? My reasons are pretty simple. Signing this contract would mean we no longer have to worry about surviving. For most of the residents here, especially those in the underworld, that would be more than enough to persuade them. As for working for the company, people need to work no matter where they are, right? If the IPC tries to take too many liberties, we can always rise up against them. You know, I've always longed for the stars since I was a child, which is why I devoted myself to science and the studying of the Stellaron. If someone told me that I could do whatever research I wanted with only a small price to pay, I probably wouldn't hesitate.
I see. I suppose that makes sense. Thanks for your input. I'll make a note of your opinion.
Gut, ja, jetzt wird es ja beim besten Willen das Bild ein bisschen klarer. Gut, und jetzt ist er rüber zum Markt der Zukunft. Ob jetzt wiederum Shepard da jetzt unbedingt dafür ist eine andere Frage jetzt. Ach, er muss befragt werden.
Is that the Trailblazers? It's been a while. I didn't think you'd be back in Belobog so soon. It's been pretty hectic in the city lately. All these people dressed in black suddenly showed up, and even the Silvermane guards have had trouble dealing with them.
Ja, auch... Naja, wir brauchen auch deine Meinung.
Do you need my opinion? I'm happy to help.
Die Situation wird erklärt.
So that's who they are. That's worse than I imagined. The Madam Guardian must be under a lot of pressure. Is there really nothing we can do to assist her?
We're here to gather everyone's opinion on the matter. I know this is a little sudden, but we're running out of time. What's your take?
Why, I'd refuse the contract, of course. There is no room for compromise. Just look at them. Arrogant, stomping around here as if they own the place. How can such people be trusted? Who's to say they won't breach the contract? Faced with this sort of coercion, we must resist them with all our might. Surrendering is not an option. You must warn the Madam Guardian not to allow herself to fall into their trap.
A soldier's perspective is always valuable, Dunn. Thanks for your input. I'll make a note of your opinion.
Tja, damit hätten wir von jedem seine Meinung eingeholt.
Did we miss anyone in the overworld? I think we asked just about everyone we needed to. From what I've gathered, it seems like most people in the overworld are leaning towards signing the IPC's contract. We'd better hurry to the underworld and see what Natasha and Zila make of it all.
Das ist jetzt erstmal der nächste Teil. Auf nach Felsenstadt. Warte, was ist das hier? Mokuschle? Was ist das denn jetzt? Ah, ich könnte mir jetzt vorstellen, das könnte jetzt theoretisch eine Abenteurermission rund um Sampu sein.
Wanna go take some pictures?
Weil dafür hört sich das Ganze irgendwie ein bisschen eigenartig an.
What brings you two to the underworld? And why the long face? Seems a little out of the blue, but since you came all this way, it must be urgent. Go ahead.
Gut, auch ihr erzählen wir den ganzen Schuldenkram.
That is a lot of information to take in. Sorry, both of you. I know you're in a hurry, but I need a moment to think.
No stress, Nat. Just tell us what you really think.
I've thought about it, and... well, if I were Bronya, I wouldn't sign it. I won't deny the offer on the table is a very tempting one. And if we refuse, Belobog will not only have the burden of a huge debt, we may also incite the wrath of a very powerful force. But even so, a quote I read back in school came to me just now. Those who are willing to give up freedom for security will end up with neither. Living in the underworld has taught me that this phrase is true. I'd rather trek through the frigid snow plains than live in a beautiful cage.
Wow, that's a pretty convincing argument. Another vote for the against pile. Thanks for your insight, Nat.
Tja, alles ziemlich verlockend, aber dann muss man natürlich, auch mit den Kehrseiten auch rechnen. Warte mal, in Felsenstadt geht es, noch weiter, aber wo? Oh, ich will nicht hoffen, dass wir wirklich dann erst eine Abenteurer-Begleitermission machen müssen.
Miss March, Big Brother, what brings you to the underworld?
Hey there, Clara. Is Svarog not around?
Mr. Svarog went out for a walk with a lady called Topaz.
What? Topaz? Do you know where they went?
I'm not sure, but Mr. Svarog promised he'd be back soon.
What now? Svarog's super logical. We should definitely get his opinion.
Claras Meinung ist genauso wichtig.
True. Don Hung's always saying that Clara's really insightful for her age.
Huh? Miss March, do you want to ask me something? That's complicated. I don't know what to say.
It's all right, Clara. No pressure. Just tell us how you feel about it.
I think if we have a choice for the future, it should be everyone's decision. Because when I was playing with Hook, the moles, and the other kids, we talked about our dreams. Everyone has different dreams. If we accept Miss Topaz's offer, then doesn't that mean our dreams will never come true? Just taking away people's dreams like that. I don't know. It feels wrong.
You're right. Children see the world as a place where anything is possible. Just the thought of our lives being predestined from birth makes me shiver. Thanks, Clara. Your thoughts mean a lot to us.
So, jetzt müssen wir bloß noch mal sehen, wo ist jetzt der letzte? Oh nein. Ist jetzt sagt wirklich so, wie ich es dachte? Ach nö, es ist jetzt sagt anscheinend genauso, wie ich es dachte. Die letzte Person, mit der wir sprechen müssen, hat eine Begleitermission für uns.
Wanna go take some pictures?
Andererseits, jetzt ist sagt wiederum die Farbe dieser Mission wieder orange. Hä? Die Farbe ist hier doch ganz klar lila. Okay, dann höchstwahrscheinlich, wenn wir jetzt ihn angesprochen haben und seine Meinung, naja, aufgeschrieben haben, notiert haben, dann geht's anscheinend wohl automatisch weiter mit der Begleitermission.
None other than the saviors of Belobog. To what do I owe the pleasure? To be honest, I'm surprised you even remembered an old geezer like me. But I can tell by the look on your faces you're probably not dropping by to say hi.
Tja, wir brauchen auch deine Meinung.
Let me guess. Something to do with these unruly people in black showing up everywhere? Well, ask away. It just so happens I'm curious about them myself. Maybe I can be of some help.
Gut, Palaver, Palaver, Erklärung.
I see. That's a tricky situation, all right. A lot for anyone to handle, let alone someone as young as Lady Bronya.
Mr. Oleg, out of all the people we know in Belobog, you have the most life experience. What do you think we should do?
Want to hear the truth? I'm afraid great ambitions and lofty plans no longer hold much appeal for an old-timer like me. If this IPC does indeed possess the magical power to restore Belobog back to its former self overnight, then I think the answer is clear. Have you considered the opposite? What about if we refuse? The reconstruction plan already sounds like an endless endeavor. And with the added burden of a massive debt, well, is that something we can manage on our own? What worries me the most is how Lady Bronya will handle the backlash from her people. Will she be able to withstand the criticism? Is she prepared to carry the weight of a tarnished reputation for years to come?
Tja, ich glaube, sie kommt mit ein wenig Kritik zurecht.
I think so too, but could you imagine having to hear names like the traitorous ruler for the rest of your life? Thank you for your thoughts, Mr. Oleg. Another vote for the 4 pile.
Nachdem weitere Meinungen der Bürger eingeholt wurden, bleibt das Ergebnis.
All that running around has worn me out. So, the final conclusion is... the votes are completely even. I don't know what to do. Both sides have really compelling arguments.
Tja, nur Bronya kann die endgültige Entscheidung treffen.
Wait a minute. We forgot to ask Zila. Let's go see what she has to say. She's probably still in the Great Mine helping the miners. Come on, let's get going.
Okay, dann auf jetzt in die Mine. Okay, wo genau müssen wir jetzt so ab längs gehen? Wo genau müssen wir jetzt so ab längs gehen? Das ist ein neuer Teil der Mine, den ich bis jetzt noch gar nicht erkundet habe. Wie es mir scheint.
Oh, shiny. Ooh, sparkly.
Hä? Ja toll, es ist auf jeden Fall ein neuer Bereich der Mine, den wir bis jetzt noch gar nicht betreten haben. Obwohl, wartet mal, eigentlich waren wir doch hier schon. Oder doch nicht? Eigenartig. Ne, wir waren sagt doch noch nicht hier gewesen. Aber gut, wir sind jetzt hier nun wirklich nicht dafür da, um noch irgendwelche Runen in Schatten zu finden. Vielleicht sagt das Hab und Gut der Leute, sagt hier zu stibitzen.
Huh? Finders keepers.
Aber nicht für Runen Schatten.
Back so soon? Any news?
Keine guten.
Are you feeling alright? You look a little uneasy.
Tja, wir brauchen deine Meinung zu einer wichtigen Angelegenheit.
Important matter, huh? I can tell from your tone that this isn't gonna be a lighthearted chat. But I'm ready to hear it.
Tja, die Schulden.
I think I get it. At first, I thought it was just a few IPC ruffians overstepping their boundaries.
Yeah, you didn't think the future of Belobog was at stake, right?
Right. I need a little time to process this.
As it stands, the votes are even. Your opinion will make all the difference.
In that case, I abstain.
What?
Deine Stimme ist äußerst wichtig.
I've thought about it. This responsibility rests on Bronya's shoulders, not mine. No matter the choice she makes, she has far greater foresight than I do. She can see the bigger picture more clearly than I can. The vote is tied. If I were to give you my view, it would tip the scales and possibly impact her final choice. I'll respect whatever decision she makes, but it's not my place to make it for her.
Understood, Zila. This is a difficult decision to make, and everyone feels differently about it. It's times like these that a leader must stand up and do what's needed.
Right. It's Bronya's decision. She knows what's at stake. She won't run away from her duty. I trust her wholeheartedly. If she asks you, just let her know my reasoning. She'll understand.
Gut.
Well, it's all in Bronya's hands now. She has to make the final call.
Sie erfüllt eine wichtige Rolle in dieser Welt.
Right? I'm glad Belobog has someone like her in charge. The time has come. Let's go fill her in. I'm curious to see how she's handling those Qlipoth ministers.
Tja, gute Frage, nächste Frage. Wie wird sie sich jetzt entschieden haben? Die Zeit der Entscheidung ist also jetzt gekommen.
Wanna go take some pictures?
Obwohl, wartet mal, eine kleine Sache könnten wir jetzt noch kurzzeitig machen. Bei der Synthese? Okay, so oder so haben wir jetzt noch ein paar gute Kleinigkeiten gemacht. Gut, und das nächste Level-Up steht auch kurz bevor. Alles läuft ansatzweise nach Plan. Und wie
Whoa, the fort's packed. I've never seen this many people here before. What? Jeez, I can barely even hear myself think.
Ist Verleugnung das einzige Mittel, das du kennst? Oh Gott.
We're doomed!
I support the Supreme Guardian's decision.
Down, will you?
We're doomed!
Tja, alle Minister haben eine andere Meinung und Auffassung darüber, was jetzt los ist. Ups, ja, falsch.
March, you're back. So, what's the verdict? What do the people think?
We talked to people in both the overworld and the underworld. The final result was a tie.
I see. I suppose everyone has their own way of seeing things. I can't say I'm surprised. What was Zila's perspective on the matter?
Sie steht hinter dir, egal wie du dich entscheidest.
I should have known. That sounds like Zila, all right.
Did you come to a conclusion with the ministers? Oh, it's so loud I can't tell what anyone's saying.
It's pretty much the same situation here. Neither party is willing to compromise. The time has come to make a decision. This chaos cannot be allowed to continue any longer.
Enough! All of you! I know what to do.
Wait!
Oh.
I have something to say to the Supreme Guardian.
Himeko.
But aren't you?
Himeko? Wait, is that the real you or a hologram?
It's the real me, March. Real as they come.
Miss Himiko, from the Astral Express? It's an honor. Thank you for all your help in our previous campaign. Things might have turned out differently without your support. If we had known of your arrival beforehand, the architects would have given you a proper welcome. I'm afraid the current circumstances are quite exceptional.
I understand, Miss Bronya. No need to explain. Your city is facing immense difficulties. My intention is simply to ensure that you have all the relevant intel.
Okay, hast du eine Lösung für alles, Himiko?
I hesitate to call it a solution, but I might have some information that might help. It is my hope that with this information, you will be better equipped as the Supreme Guardian to make a wise and informed decision.
Information? Please, tell me what you know, Miss Himiko.
I happen to have a friend with knowledge of Topaz. What Topaz said about her home world is indeed true, which is why she believes that the IPC's takeover of Belobog is the only way of ensuring the city's survival. But there is one thing she intentionally left out. Not all worlds that have accepted the IPC's terms have been saved.
You mean...
Performing ecological reconstruction on a planet carries inevitable risks. According to the intel provided by my friend, the success rate for the ecological reconstruction of worlds using the IPC's technology is 63%.
Only 63% of planets succeed? That's not exactly comforting.
This is the overall average across all IPC projects. The success rate of projects personally handled by Topaz is above 80%. She's undoubtedly one of the most capable people in her field. I wanted to bring these numbers, these probabilities, to light. I think it's only fair that you know all the facts before making a decision. Ultimately, it's up to you, Supreme Guardian, to make the final call.
I understand. Thank you, Miss Himiko. This information is of great help. Regardless of how alluring their promises may be, this contract is nothing more than a gamble. As a leader, I cannot let the future of Belobog hinge on a roll of the dice.
Now that you've decided, I don't have to pretend to be impartial anymore. I think you're making the right choice, Bronya.
Astral friends, I have an idea, but for it to work, I'll need everyone's cooperation. I need some time to rally all the residents in the city, and then I'll meet with Topaz again. Please locate her for me. It doesn't matter where she is or what she's doing. And if the IPC is still trying to take over Belobog's assets, I ask that you do everything in your power to stop them.
Don't worry. Leave it to us. We'll find her. It won't be easy dealing with her, but these two will help me get the job done.
Belobog's future is not for sale. And we'll never forget the friends who stood by us in our time of need. Not once, but twice. Stay safe, everyone.
Gut, damit ist die Entscheidung getroffen. Und wie sieht es jetzt hier aus? Mal sehen. Wir können hier nicht reden, Jabbat. Und gib deine Berichte an die Besatzung weiter. Ja, Frau Bronya. Je mehr Informationen, desto besser. Die oberste Wächterin hat mich nach Niedstadt beordert, um zusammen mit den Silbermähenwachen und automatische Infiltration durch die EFK zu stoppen. Zuerst lief die... Oh, verdammt mal, jetzt lass mich doch erstmal lesen. Hallo? So schnell kann doch also keiner hier lesen. Also nochmal von vorne. Zuerst lief die Verteidigung nach Plan, aber dann ist Topaz persönlich aufgetaucht und hat mit irgendeiner speziellen Technologie im Handumdrehen die Kontrolle über alle unsere Automatons übernommen. Anscheinend ist Topaz zu einem bestimmten Gebiet in den Tiefen von Niedstadt unterwegs. Aus irgendeinem Grund wird sie von Svarog begleitet. Svarog, versucht er wieder, sich gegen uns zu stellen? Ich hoffe nicht. Mein Instinkt sagt mir, dass noch etwas anderes dahinter steckt. Aber ich weiß es noch nicht mit Sicherheit. Zumindest wissen wir, wo wir Topaz finden können. März, Phantomat, lass uns gehen. Tja.
Shepard should be waiting for us in Rivet Town, right? Here we go again. Back to our old stomping grounds for another adventure.
Ja, aber das, liebe Leute von heute, das machen wir dann, sagt doch erst im nächsten Part. Ist jetzt, sagt doch schon sehr viel Zeit vergangen. Und so wie ich das jetzt hier auch sehe, 1300 Trailblaze EP. Das müsste theoretisch jetzt auch den Abschluss des Markt der Zukunft Teil 2 wo darstellen. So oder so bin ich schon auf den Ausgang der Geschichte gespannt. Und ja, ich weiß jetzt an der Stelle eigentlich auch nicht so genau, was Svarog sich bei der ganzen Sache denkt. Um genau zu sein, würde ich jetzt eigentlich mal denken, dass der Code der IFK theoretisch auf ihn doch keine richtige Wirkung haben dürfte. Er ist doch eigentlich schon längst über seine ursprünglichen Programmierungen hinausgewachsen. So ist es auf jeden Fall meiner Meinung. Eine Maschine, die Gefühle entwickelt, kann man nicht mehr so recht als Maschine bezeichnen. Und ob der universelle Code der IFK bei ihm funktioniert, wäre dann unwahrscheinlich. Würde ich meinen. Aber all das und viel mehr sehen wir auf jeden Fall erst mit dem nächsten Part höchstwahrscheinlich. Es könnte natürlich auch sein, dass Svarog nur auf den passenden Moment wartet, um den Code der IFK, nachdem er erstmal gesehen hat, wie der eingesetzt wird, umzuschreiben, sodass alle Automatons vielleicht unabhängig von der IFK werden können. Und dass sie bloß noch zum Wohle Belobogs handeln. Könnte alles im Bereich des Möglichen sein. So oder so sehen wir das Ganze erst im nächsten Part. Bis dann und ciao bis dahin.